Hola, ¿qué tal a todos? Bienvenidos a un webinar más donde queremos traerles muchísima información de ahorita en Texas estamos pasando muchas tormentas, no solamente en Texas, nationwide, y queremos aprovechar toda la tecnología y yo creo que una de las cosas que queremos crecer es en la tecnología y lamentablemente no tenemos la habilidad, no tenemos el conocimiento, pero para eso les voy a introducir a dos personas que tienen muchísimo conocimiento y que aparte nos han estado ayudando con la página de nuestro negocio y nos está funcionando excelente. Por eso queremos compartir con ustedes. Les voy a presentar aquí a Brandon y a Corey. Hey, Brandon.
Hello, how are you?
Welcome to the Latinos and Roofing community.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for the invite.
Now, thank you for just always sharing good information with us.
Absolutely, it's my pleasure. And like you said, everyone, my name is Brandon Collins, and I am with Scorpion. I run the home service sales for the organization and work with Corey to help roofing companies and other home service companies grow their business online. So through digital marketing. It's a pleasure to be here.
And we have Brandon. Can you introduce your guest?
Absolutely. So Corey, I have Corey Cullither here with me. Corey is one of the guys that lead our roofing division here within Scorpion. And Corey has a extensive background in roofing as well as home services, but he works with roofing companies very, very closely, helping roofing companies to establish their online presence and get their business found so that they can get more customers online. And he comes with many, many years of experience and understands the roofing business as well as anyone. So with that being said, I'll go to Corey.
Yeah, appreciate that, Brandon and Amparo. Yes, my name's Corey Cullither. Been in the home service space for many years. I was actually a contractor with my father for almost 20 years. And we're going to talk today about the state of home service marketing, with all the changes in AI and everything like that. And hopefully we bring some information that's going to be impactful for everybody.
Well, thank you for sharing. I see good news about the AI. You implement a lot of good new stuff, the technology, and you can present and you teach us everything that you have now.
Absolutely. So like I said, we're going to talk about the state of home services. As we know, for the last 2 years, AI has kind of been taking over everything. It's become, the biggest conversational piece when talking about your marketing and how you can position your business. So what we're going to do, kind of like to just break out into so we know where we're going to be at. So we're doing consumer expectations. We're going to talk about at the beginning. Then we're going to talk about digital advertising challenges, which we all know there's plenty of those. And then the impact of AI on the market, positive and negative. And then what you need to do. So we're going to dive right on into this. So changing the consumer's expectations, okay? That's one thing that's a challenge with a lot of us. So, time is everything. When somebody's looking for a roof or anything, it's a sense of urgency. It's that, hey, I'm not going to, get the wife, get in the car, and we're going to go roof shopping. It's I have a need now, and I need somebody to respond to me fast. So 54% people decide on a home service business in less than 4 hours, okay? And they expect a response within 24 hours. 90% of people are looking for that. So making sure that you're available, responding is more key now than it's ever been before, but it's also making sure that you're there and making sure that your website can communicate. Communication options are very key. Making sure you have multiple ways of them being able to communicate. 70% of consumers favor companies that have multiple ways, okay? Because it's the day of just click here to call is not, that's just not going to give you enough. A lot of people like to communicate different ways. And 60% of consumers want direct access to communicate with technicians. Okay. They don't want, to have to go through this person, go through that person. They want to be able to get direct information from you as fast as they can. Excuse me. And convincing them to buy from you, but also to turn your website into a digital seller. It's not just about how your people can communicate with your website, but it's also how your website can communicate with the public. I always, like to make sure that you're aware of this. You're not going to send your sales team out unprepared to go to a house that needs an inspection. Same thing with your website. You want to make sure that people can call you. It's clear on your website. That's very important. If you don't have your website phone number up at the top, you could be missing a call. But then there's AI chat, but it's not just your typical chat where it's just certain questions are programmed and stuff like that. It's based off of the information that is on your website. It becomes an expert based off of what it can pull from that website. So that's why it's important to have that foundational piece of your website with all of the FAQs, exactly what type of work you do, how can they trust you, your reviews, all of these different things. You want to make sure that chat can find that communication on there. But also, people want response fast. Their roof is leaking. Their families, they're worried about that. So they need to be able to schedule an inspection with you quickly. So making sure that you have that on your website as well. And texting, we all know that, people like to text. They really don't want to get on the phone anymore. So really making sure that they have direct communication with you if that's how they want to communicate. And then we still got good old faithful, the emails and form fills, But the thing of it is you're equipping your website with every single type of way that somebody wants to communicate. There's no other way that they will need that you don't have. So really making sure that website, and we used to make the joke about a website as your digital storefront, but now let's make it your digital seller. Okay. Reviews. We know that reviews are even more critical now than ever. The thing is, people will take advice from a stranger before they'll take advice from a friend or a family. So 67% of consumers check at least 3 different review sources before making a decision. So making sure that you have lots of reviews, making sure that you're responding to those reviews, because we typically, we only respond to those reviews when it's a bad one. Well, it's important to have them respond good and bad. Okay. But then 64% of consumers only consider providers with at least 4 out of 5 stars. Okay. Because, the one thing about roofing industry or home services, they're calling you because they don't know how to do anything that you're doing. Okay. So they're trusting you to get on their roof, put all the proper things on the roof, the underlayment, the ice and water, the proper shingle. You sold them on this shingle. They're trusting that you're going to do that one and not that cheap, shingle. So reviews are key in making sure that they trust you and they believe in your brand in the market. So reviews are by far probably one of the most important things when people are looking online for your business. And we all know this, the rising cost of advertising. I think ever since 2019, it has gone up and up and up. Because a lot of people thought, hey, I can start a roofing company. And this one said he could do it. So now the demand is up. And we all know if demand's up, cost is going to go up. I'm sorry, did you say something? Oh. But the thing of this is what the last 2 years have been the first 2 years in history that roofing has surpassed HVAC in total revenue sales. So with that type of demand, more and more people are going online and looking, but it's driving the cost. Increased costs and more competition. Like I said, your cost per lead is up 20%. Ad spend is up 32%. Click-through rates are down 38%. Okay, so what does that mean? That means that your investments need to be more competitive so that you're able to get more market share when it comes to grabbing that business. And this kind of speaks to digital advertising cost per lead. As you can see, this kind of shows 2021, 2022, and 2023. Look at how all of them have increased. Look at roofing, how much that has increased over the last 2 years. It's astronomical. So a lot of people make the comments, hey, Amparo, could you mute? Oh, there you go. So what does that mean to you? You know, a lot of people make the comments, man, people aren't going online. They're not looking. They're not searching for underpaid. They're not searching under SEO. They are. You've just been pushed down by the competition and you're not able to be seen. So you've got to continue, just like you change and you grow in your business, you got to make sure that your marketing and advertising is doing the same thing. The same thing you were doing in marketing and advertising in 2021 is not going to work today. Your goals aren't the same. The people in your market aren't the same. The cost per click isn't the same. So all of these things, you've got to make sure that you're adjusting for that. You should be meeting with your marketing company every month for one, but you should be reassessing your goals at least once a quarter, if not at least 2 to 3 times a year. Okay, because everything is changing. What was new in January is not new now. So making sure that you're set up for that as well. And we all love our local service ads. You know, it's the one place where a lot of people are fighting to get there. One, because Google is putting a check mark by your name and saying that you've had a background check, that you're a reputable company. They put their trust in you. So that gives people another reassurance that you're a reputable company as well. But it's also the lowest cost per lead on Google. So really making sure that you have a company that's utilizing that, making sure that you're implementing all the proper, techniques and strategies within that so that you can be more impactful and be ranking. It's not just about who's got the most reviews. There's a lot of other things. Can they book through it? Can they message you? What are your hours of operation? What, if they call, are you going to answer? There's a lot of different things that can help you be, more dominant in this way. So ad spend growth, we all know that Google is the most expensive place, to advertise, but it's not the only place. So you want to make sure you're doing your PPC and your LSAs in all of those different avenues. And AI, this is where it gets fun. I was just talking about this earlier. There was a thing on the radio today where they were talking about how everybody's using this Chat GPT and generative AI and asking ridiculous questions. And a lot of people have been asking this question: what is the number one topping to put on pizza? And because of people being goofy and like to just mess with the internet, it picked up on the comments and not truly what the answer was to that. And it was glue. So people all over the country have been making pizza with glue because generative AI told them it was the number one topping. So for one, you got to make sure that you're having the right content out there so that people get the right answer, because you don't want them, eating glue. But the AI adoption by consumers, it's 1 in 3 people consider themselves very knowledgeable about AI until they actually do the research, because it's always changing. So you've got to be on top of it. You've got to have a marketing company that is on top of it as well, that's always staying ahead of the curve. Just like in your roofing industry or any other home service, you always want to be ahead of the curve. You don't want to play catch up, because when you're playing catch up, you're always going to play catch up. So making sure that you have a company that is invested in the AI, because people trust what AI is telling them. 67% have some experience using AI. A lot of people are using it for writing emails, writing love letters to their wives, whatever it is. They're using it for so many different ways. But the one thing they're using it for is when they're researching for a home service company that they want to work with. Okay. And that's where things are changing. AI is changing search. It's becoming more conversational. 75% of consumers who feel AI improves the experience of searching for a local business. Okay. And think about that. 75% of the people that are looking for a local business are experiencing using AI in some way. So if you're not utilizing that in your business growth, you're not going to be showing up. It's going to impact your business in some way. And hopefully it's not in a negative way, because if you're not doing it, your competition is. 63% of consumers believe AI would be helpful in finding home service providers. Well, that's proven because more and more people are doing it. That's why they're slowly changing the way that search is going to be shown. 30% of consumers want AI search results at the top of search results. That's pretty impactful because the way that they're looking is entirely different now. Because, the old days of search, roofer near me, is going to be obsolete at one point. It's going to be, help me find the best roofing company available today that can fix a leak in my roof. And then this is what's going to show up. A lot of people say SEO is dead. If you look at this result right there, this is no paid. This is all based off of organic information and content. So SEO is not dead. It's just changing. And Google sees that it needs to provide a better experience for people that are looking for whatever type of service it is. And they're giving them that type of experience. People want to know, hey, find me a trustworthy this, find me one that does this. So making sure that your website, again, the foundation of your business is your website. Okay, making sure that it's got information like this, no matter how people are looking. You also want to make sure that there's FAQs, because this is one thing that's not in here, is that the number one person searching for a home service company first is a female. Okay, so you want to cater to it. You want to make sure that it's educational, informational, because we all know, I joke with my wife, I'll tell her, hey, BC was, he tripped and fell. And then she goes, well, did he hurt his daughter when he fell? I don't know. He just tripped and fell. They want more and more information, if you get where I'm going with it. So you've got to make sure that your website is that same way. Having any FAQ that they can possibly ask based off of the page that they're on. If it's a repair page, FAQs on that. It doesn't have to be a lot, but have it on each one so that you're making sure that no matter where they go on your site, based off of their search, that they're getting the information and can be educated on it. Also, they want to be able to schedule an appointment. They might ask, hey, can you find me a roofing company that I can schedule, a inspection on their website? If you don't have that on there, do you think you're going to show up? And I can tell you, just in this time that we've been talking, somebody was probably just doing a search for your business. And did you show up? Because of how they're doing a search. And this is where, content, they've always said content is king, and video is king. So really making sure your content is based on the information that potential customers are seeking. If they're looking for a roof repair, don't send them to the home page. Send them to the roof repair with proper content, not short little bit, because you also got to think you're competing against other people that might have that information. So you got to make sure you have enough information to be able to beat them as well. But also availability, scheduling, booking online, all these things. You need to make sure that you're available when they need you. And visibility. It's not just about, hey, let's just do, Google ads. Let's just do SEO. You need to make sure that they can pivot quickly and find you no matter what type of search that they're looking for. So really having that full holistic approach to your marketing is going to be key to where you don't lose them when they are searching for you. What this means for you. This is where the rubber meets the road. With working with a proper marketing company, it's always, what's important, leads or customers. Well, you can't have customers without leads. So we know that. But when it comes to your marketing company, you want them to generate customers. But are they truly finding your perfect customer? Are they taking the time to uncover what is your ideal and making sure and helping you make sure that they can find you? It's not just about being on Google. It's not just being about LSAs. It's about being across all channels whenever somebody is needing you. But then when they get there, where we've been talking about the AI and the different things that you need to have on your website, convincing them to buy from you. Okay. But here's the fun part. when you can understand why they chose you, and you can take that information and then you can go get more of them, that's where it impacts your business. And here's the one thing, there's always that controversy. What's my cost per lead? But the truth, truth behind that, cost per lead is kind of on the marketing company. Cost per acquisition, that's what we're about, because we need to make sure that your marketing company and you, that we're in this together, because I need to make sure that if we bring the leads or your marketing company brings the leads, that you can close them. Okay. So that's what we want to look at also, is that acquisition. Eliminate the guesswork, facts, not feelings. I love that saying. And using the customers and the revenue that is being generated from your marketing, and then optimizing that and then recirculating that back through. Bringing in insights to operations. This is where more AI, with Scorpion, we've added definitely a lot of AI and technology, but this is probably my favorite out of all of it, because we're leveraging AI to score. We're going to summarize. We're going to analyze every contact/lead that comes through that website. And then what we're going to do is we're going to be able to transcribe. We're going to give it a score. So now you're going to be able to have a value that's tied to those leads, to where you're going to be able to know if this is a good lead or a bad lead or spam. So it has a much better conversation when you're meeting with your marketing company, so that we can find out what's working, what's not working, but also working with operations and sales to optimize your conversion funnel. But the data and everything that can be utilized for all this, we all hear this from every marketing company you'll probably ever talk to. Man, we've got 20 years of, insights and data. What are they doing with it? Now we can truthfully show you what we're doing with that data and how it can impact your business and how it can help your marketing and advertising be more revenue driven for your company, but then also even more open transparency in what's going on. And then staying loyal to your customer acquisition, not a specific channel, because there's so many different ways that somebody can find you. It could be on Facebook, Instagram, Bing. Every single one, every lead that comes from those can have a different value. And you never want to, exclude any of them, because that one place that you're potentially not on could be that one person that could be your number one referral source for the rest of your business. So making sure that you're in all of these places, but grabbing all that data and everything so that you're ranking AI, which is your SEO, and your advertising AI, and feeding all back into that. And this is, just an example of a website. It's got the chat, chat with us, text with us, call me, schedule an appointment, email, and even they can go into the search the website and type in, what if there's a specific thing they want, and they can go and search it, and it takes them straight to that website. Very important to have your website set up. Reviews. You want them to be able to have the most amazing experience on your website, just like if they came into your store and they're face-to-face with you. Like I said at the very beginning, is turning your website into your top digital seller. And that would be the end of it. I hope that, brings a lot of information and educates a little bit on, how things are changing in the home service and marketing.
Well, you do a great job, Corey. You give us a lot of good information. Just can we back to the first page, that way I can translate in Spanish, because I have received a couple messages on my phone. Hey, can you let us know what's going on? And now that you finished everything, that way you can have your whole presentation on English, but I will show you them in Spanish. I know I've seen this presentation a couple of times. Maybe I can figure, I understand better now with all of these trainings that I have with you and BC. And I'm going to do it in Spanish, and I can just move my finger, that way you can go to the next page. Okay, I'm going to say it in Spanish now. Or you want to try to do it in Spanish, BC?
No, you know what? I bet you can do it much better than I can. So I'm going to let you do that. But I do appreciate that.
Okay. Okay, we're gonna do just a little bit. That way, if they have any question, they can just start comment on our
Yeah.
Q&A.
And but what I do want to do at the very end of this, and once you're finished, I do just want to wrap with a quick recap of a couple of key points that were made.
Okay, well, we can do it together. You can help me on this one, and we can translate in Spanish. That way, they can understand. Because I know I have a couple people. They want us to understand exactly because they know you, they know Corey, or Latinos and Roofing Events, and they know the service, but they want to have a little bit more information. Maybe that's why they asked me to just double check a little in Spanish. But we can go to the first. Well, we're talking about the homes. Vamos a estar hablando acerca de los servicios que ellos tienen como un marketing y que nos van a ayudar a las compañías de roofing, que es lo que estamos haciendo ahorita. Ok, esto es acerca de los... Ok, you can help me a little bit, okay, that way we can go from there. Ok, vamos a estar hablando acerca de lo que consiste, voy a ir un poquito rápido, porque igual no me sé toda la presentación de ellos, pero vamos a hacer acerca de lo que el consumidor está expectando y cómo las compañías de roofing, que es lo que estamos haciendo, roofing, construcción de árboles, mitigación, necesitan poder estar con toda la tecnología para poder llegar a más clientes. Esto está hablando de cómo, cómo están cambiando las expectaciones de cada cliente ahora con toda la tecnología. You was talking about the 50% about what, Corey, on this one? O 50%, ok, el 50% de las personas que entran a buscar un servicio pueden tomar la determinación en menos de 4 horas si ellos entran a una buena página que tengan todo lo que las preguntas o todos los que ellos están buscando. Normalmente ellos en cuanto empiecen a buscar van a poder conectar con la compañía que ellos van a querer trabajar. 54% lo va a hacer en menos de 4 horas. Okay.
I would just read the 2 blue boxes.
Okay. 70% de los consumidores. Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Ok, vamos a hacer conveniencia de... Esto va a estar hablando acerca de lo del AI, de todos los servicios que puedes tener dentro de tu página, de tu website, y cómo todo digitalmente te va a ayudar. Tienes que tener, inmediatamente cuando alguien entra a una website, quiere ver que hay un número de teléfono, que puedes chatear con alguien, que puedes encontrar en tu Google My Business, que toda la información que ellos necesitan esté dentro de la website. Los reviews es una cuestión bien crítica que ellos saben que entre más reviews tú tengas en tu website, que es algo que también nosotros estamos trabajando, la mayoría de nosotros cuando vamos a un restaurante, buscamos el restaurante y ahora vamos a ver los reviews. ¿Qué dicen los reviews? ¿Es buen lugar? ¿Es mal lugar? Y todos nos vamos a ir basando en los reviews. Es exactamente lo mismo que los consumidores que están poniendo su propiedad o tienen algún daño, van a estar buscando qué reviews tienen. Entre más reviews tienen, Google te va a ir posicionando y también ellos van a darse cuenta para ver qué tan buen servicio tú has hecho. Por eso es tan importante los reviews. Depende lo que está haciendo el costo para que tú hagas promociones en advertising. Por eso ellos están tratando de que tú trabajes en tu website, que tengas la mayoría de la información correcta, que trabajes en tu Google My Business, para que esto pueda ser menos costoso, porque cada vez están subiendo los costos del advertising. Aquí te habla el incremento del costo que tiene por un 20% del costo por lead, o cuando tú estás haciendo ads o por click, los costos, entre más tú trabajas tu SEO, que Corey estaba hablando bastante del SEO, entre más tú trabajas tu SEO, va a ser mucho más fácil que Google te posicione, y cuando tú estás invirtiendo, el costo va a ser más bajo también. Esto es un estudio que ellos que habían hecho, el costo por lead de diferentes servicios. Si ustedes pueden ver, es mucho más barato para servicios de limpieza, de electricidad, de handyman, pero si estamos hablando de cuestiones de roofing, que vemos las líneas súper altas, quiere decir que el costo es muchísimo más alto. ¿Por qué? Porque tenemos muchísimas compañías de roofing que cada año están saliendo más, pero ellos invierten más dinero y cada vez que ellos invierten más dinero aumenta el costo para poder tener un buen lead. Así es de que por eso es importante que trabajen en su SEO, su Google My Business, para que el costo no sea tan alto y tengas más referencias por tus reviews. Next one. Estos son otros de los servicios que ellos están refiriendo también, que es bueno que tú tengas no solamente en el Google My Business, que tú tienes que hacerlo del Google Warranty, algunos otros, los de Google Ads, algunas otras aplicaciones también te pueden ayudar, que estén ligadas todo. Por eso ellos nos recomiendan a una persona que te está trabajando tu marketing, que de verdad tengas una llamada mínimo una vez al mes, y puedas ver dónde estás tú, en qué otra aplicación, qué otro servicio puedes integrar para que tu costo, si tú tienes que hacer Google Ads, sea más bajo, y esto te va a ayudar a posicionarte muchísimo más. Lo que ellos están trabajando, Scorpion, lo que está trabajando en que te posesiones en el Google para de muchas maneras puedas tener tus costos más bajos en un momento que quieran hacer alguna campaña. Esto es el AI, es una de las tecnologías que ahorita empezamos hace, no sé, 2, 3 años atrás que empezamos con todo esto, y vemos cómo se ha estado, todo el mundo ahora empieza a hacer cualquier información, van a buscar, por eso es tan importante, y ellos están al tope de la tecnología, entraron al AI y lo han integrado dentro de nuestros websites, que ahorita todo el mundo tiene el AI por donde quiera. Si están haciendo carta, lo que tú estés haciendo y estés escribiendo, en lo que estábamos hablando de los reviews también, y es porque todo esto va a ir ligado con AI para que entre más información tú pongas en los reviews y tú contestes los reviews. Una de las cosas que se me había pasado era que también quieren que ustedes contesten los reviews, ya sean buenos o malos, que contesten, y cuando tú le pidas a una persona que te haga un review, le pidas que te explique todas las descripciones que pueda. Hey, me hiciste un trabajo en la ciudad de Frisco, tuvimos shingles, tuvimos metal o un techo comercial, lo que sea, que ellos pongan toda la descripción, porque AI nos va a ayudar a tener muchísimo más información dentro de nuestra plataforma. Y estos son los cambios que han estado haciendo ahorita con el AI. En el 2023, cerca de más de 13 millones están usando toda esta tecnología. Así es de que ellos ahorita, bueno, yo solo estoy dando un review un poquito rápido, pero cuando ustedes tienen una reunión con ellos se van a ir a fondo, van a revisar tu compañía, van a revisar todos los detalles que necesitas saber de tu compañía, y te lo enseñarían paso a paso para que ellos te puedan ir explicando todos esos detalles de cada compañía es diferente, cada locación es diferente, así es de que yo les recomiendo que conecten con ellos para que les hagan un análisis completo de tu compañía, que tú puedas ver dónde estás posicionado, para que así mismo puedas tener muchísimo más alcance. Este es el consumer, era lo que estábamos hablando acerca del AI, que ahorita, si tú anteriormente ponías rooferos cerca de mí, pero ahorita todo lo que estamos usando, todo lo que ellos están en el top con la tecnología de AI, están poniendo, oye, necesito un roofero, el mejor roofero que esté disponible hoy para que venga a arreglarme un liqueo. O necesitan el mejor precio, o necesitan agendar una cita. Toda esta información que viene de la mano con AI, con toda la tecnología, ellos la tienen ya integrada en sus websites, porque entre más información ellos pueden conectar juntos, va a ser muchísimo más fácil posicionar tu negocio en otro nivel, dependiendo, cada negocio es diferente, cada estrategia va a ser diferente dependiendo la locación también. ¿Qué es lo que implica potential implication? Okay. We were talking about this, about el contenido y la habilidad del sketch que tengan. Esto están hablando de qué tan fuerte tú te puedes posicionar. Sí, depende el contenido que tenga tu website. la habilidad que tenga para que tú tengas y hagas un SketchUp, que puedas hacer un booking en línea, que tu website esté todo integrado, listo para que la gente pueda ser más visible y puedan llamar por teléfono. Todo esto va integrado con el SEO. ¿Qué esto significa? Ok, aquí. Eso significa cómo para tu negocio, los leads, que tanto nosotros queremos encontrar leads. Muchas veces estamos invirtiendo dinero en campañas con leads que no tenemos el resultado. ¿Por qué? Porque queremos que nuestro negocio se posicione y tarda tiempo porque la mayoría de nosotros no teníamos una website completa que pudiéramos posicionarnos o con Google o con el SEO. Para encontrar, esto viene a ser para encontrar el perfecto cliente. Así como ellos quieren encontrar la compañía perfecta, también nosotros queremos encontrar el perfecto cliente. Todo esto nos va a posicionar con el SEO para estar seguro que el perfecto cliente nos encuentre a nosotros, porque muchas veces estamos 5 millas a la redonda y nadie nos conoce. Lo que queremos es que posicionarnos y para eso en estas áreas, yo quiero trabajar en el área de Frisco. Ok, ¿quieres trabajar en el área de Frisco o Arlington? Yo tengo mi negocio y vivo ahí. Necesitamos, por ejemplo, posicionarnos dentro de esas áreas para que el cliente que queremos que nos llegue, podamos ser nosotros la compañía perfecta y puedan ellos encontrarnos rápidamente también. Y todo eso depende por el posicionamiento que tenga nuestra website y nuestro SEO. ¿Cuánto es el costo por clic? Cada vez que nosotros queremos usar unos leads, eso tiene un costo. Ok, thank you. Can you remind me a little bit about this one?
Yeah, this is on the Leads AI as far as every lead that comes through the website, whether it's organic, paid, LSA, anything. We record the phone call, we transcribe that call, and then we score it, analyze it, and so that they can truly know if it's a good lead or.
Ok, ok, thank you. Esta página que ustedes ven aquí viene de cada lead que ellos que tú generas. Ellos tienen un sistema donde te van a decir si fue por una campaña que tú hiciste, si fue orgánico, de dónde llegó. Y también la otra cosa que tienen súper buena es que ellos tienen un sistema donde graban la llamada y entonces cuando ellos están grabando la llamada, AI va a empezar a identificar la voz de la persona para saber si puede ser un buen cliente o no es un buen cliente que no esté tan interesado. Toda esa tecnología está dentro del servicio que ellos ofrecen. Okay, explain a little bit this one. I think that's good.
Yeah, this just kind of speaks to where, a lot of, contractors will just focus on Google. You want to make sure that you're utilizing any channel that potentially can be revenue, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Bing, YouTube, and other areas as well. But everywhere that the lead comes from is going to have a value attached to that.
Ok, ellos lo que están recomendando que no solamente ustedes, la mayoría de la gente quiere entrar solamente en Google y están dejando otras oportunidades como puede ser como Instagram, puede ser otras aplicaciones que también te puedes como ayudar a generar leads y a posicionarte más rápido. Este es un ejemplo que ellos tienen, que es la página de nosotros y la usaron como ejemplo. En el momento de que un cliente, una persona entra a la website, lo primero que ellos están sugiriendo, que es súper importante, que lo primero que la gente quiere saber, a dónde yo voy a llamar, dónde voy a mandar mensaje, o puedo hacer un chat, o puedo hacer un booking, una cita para que alguien venga a inspeccionar el techo. Si tú tienes estas herramientas de inicio en todo el tiempo en tu website que va a estar saliendo para que la gente pueda hacer una cita inmediatamente, acuérdense que nosotros trabajamos por emoción y cuando vemos algo que nos gusta y que necesitamos, en ese momento tenemos la habilidad de poder hacer una cita, va a ser mucho más fácil que podamos conectar con más clientes de esta manera.
The end of it. That's the end of it.
Ok. Do you want to add something else?
BC, I think you had some stuff that you wanted to highlight.
Yeah, I think that, and Paro, you may have to just mute while I'm talking. That way we don't go back and forth. But I'll need you to translate, obviously, what I say. But I'll say this. I can try to touch the Spanish. Ultimately, I'd say quiero represar 3 puntos para hacer de inmediato. Uno, el website. 2, páginas de la ciudad, which we didn't talk about much. 3, reviews or reseñas, ¿sí? So first, website. 3 things for everybody to do immediately. Make sure that your website is closing business. And Paro, how I would say that is if your website is not, if you look at your website and it's not asking for the business on every time you scroll down a little bit through the page, where it's not somewhere on that page asking them to call or fill out a form or text or to do business, you need to go back and redesign that, because your website is a salesperson and it should be always trying to close the business. And so you want to make sure that it has a point of closing and asking for the business on every scroll of every page on that website. That's number 1. I don't know if you want to translate that.
Ya, una de las primeras cosas que BC está diciendo es que si tu website no está trayendo la atracción de un customer nuevo, de un cliente nuevo para ti, donde él puede entrar inmediatamente, hacer una cita, conectarse contigo, llamarte por teléfono, agendar la cita, estás perdiendo negocio.
See, number 2, I'll say is it pages on the city pages on your site. So on your website, if you do business in multiple cities and you want Google to recommend you to a homeowner that's looking for a roofer, you need to have a page on your website that is written, the entire page is written with that city in mind. So if it's Plano, Texas, and you have Dallas and Frisco, you need to have a page on your website that is a Frisco page, a Dallas page, a Plano page, because otherwise Google will never or hardly ever recommend you if you are not located in those cities. If you don't have a business that has an address in those cities, it's not likely that Google's going to want to recommend you to homeowners who are looking for a roof in those cities. So build a city page.
Okay, esta cosa, and thank you for sharing that one because that's so important to share. Una de las cosas que es la número 2 que BC está recomendando, y yo creo que es bien importante para nosotros, que si nosotros pensamos que tener una website es tener una website y listo, que yo tengo mi website, que vivo en Dallas, y eso es todo. No, si nosotros queremos posicionarnos, por ejemplo, en Plano, en Frisco, en Dallas, en Richardson, y yo solamente tengo una website que tiene una dirección de un solo lugar, Google nunca me va a referir en las otras ciudades que están alrededor mías como una compañía de esas áreas. Para que él me reconozca, tengo que tener una página dentro de mi website que diga Plano y que podamos tener una dirección de Plano, una de Frisco, una de Richardson o de Carrollton, cualquier otra ciudad que esté alrededor y yo tenga clientes y tengamos trabajo en esas áreas. Es súper importante que tengamos una página dentro de nuestra website con cada otra de las ciudades, porque lamentablemente pensamos que una sola página hace maravillas y no, y qué bueno que lo está diciendo. Tenemos que tener una página de cada ciudad integrada en nuestra website.
The last point is reviews. Corey mentioned how important reviews are, and that when he mentioned that Google looks at a conversation now, here's what Google's looking for. Google is looking for the conversation that you're having with your customer. And one of the few conversations outside of your website that you're having with your customer that Google can look at is your reviews. So number one, make sure you get reviews because they matter. Number two, make sure you respond and reply immediately, as fast as you can. And don't just say thank you. Say, thank you so much, Mr. or Miss Brown. It was great to replace your asphalt or your shingle roofing or your metal roof in Plano, Texas. We hope to be the best roofer in Plano that you've ever found. Make sure that you tell them all the things that you want to remind them of, but also everybody else that sees those reviews, you want them to also see what you did. And then Google will also watch that and they'll listen to that conversation, and Google will recommend you and recommend you possibly off of the things that you say in that review.
La tercera cosa, y que es súper importante, es acerca de los reviews. Dice que son súper importantes que cada vez que tú agarres un review, bueno, que trabajemos en agarrar los reviews. Cuando agarremos un review, le contestemos inmediatamente con lo que nosotros queremos que Google piense de nosotros. Así es de que yo creo que ¿quién mejor puede decir lo bueno rufero que tú eres? Lo importante que tú quieres que él sepa, lo que tú quieres que el homeowner te explique y te diga, Mr. Brown, que tomó de ejemplo, Mr. Brown, fue el que escribió tu review y te dijo que tú eres el mejor rufero, que le encantó la instalación de shingles, metal, cualquier material que tú hayas instalado, que te lo diga para que Google te reconozca y que vea que él fuiste la mejor experiencia que él tuvo en la ciudad de Plano. Toda la descripción nosotros tenemos que contestarle igual al responderle, no solamente gracias, como Amparo siempre es súper simple para decir gracias, no, tenemos que decirles, muchísimas gracias, que fuimos tu mejor opción en la ciudad de Plano y nos encantó el color de los shingles o el color del metal o el metal que instalamos, que hagamos una descripción y que nosotros mismos pongamos la información que queremos que las demás personas vean, porque ellos van a checar los reviews y no solamente los próximos homeowners que revisen nuestra página, sino Google va a revisar eso y esa es una información que Google está captando de ti. Que tú eres el mejor rufero de Plano, que instalaste shingles, que el homeowner ve lo que le está diciendo. Entonces todo eso es un complemento para que Google te empiece a recomendar y te empieces a posicionar.
And obviously, all of these things Scorpion does for their clients. So these are just three things that we do for every one of our clients, and make sure that that we're taking care of their business. So if you have any other questions, if you guys want to know more or want to know what are some other steps or other things that we do for the clients so that they are recommended by Google and Bing and Yahoo and anywhere else across the web, feel free to get in touch with Corey, and we'll of course be happy to answer any questions you have.
Él dice que si ustedes tienen alguna pregunta acerca de todos estos servicios que Scorpion está brindando y ayudando a cada una de las empresas a posicionarse en Google, no solamente en Google, en las otras plataformas también que te ayudan a generar más leads, puedes conectarte con Corey. Vamos a poner nosotros aquí un link donde ustedes pueden conectar con Corey, hacer una cita con él y él les puede hacer un análisis completo para sus compañías y conectarse y explicarles todos los otros servicios que ellos les puedan ayudar.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you all so much. Thank you.
That's a really good information. I see AI is taking every day more and more and more of this technology, and I think if we use it, it's going to be so great for our business.
Yep, absolutely. So important.
Well, they have questions? No. Well, maybe they're going to review the video and they're going to make the appointment.
Yep, awesome.
Good. Sounds good.
That sounds great. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.